Canton, Ohio. Hall of Fame game, first preseason game of the NFL schedule, gave us the Panthers and the Cardinals. We got some legends from both of those squads, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald. Of course, they're getting inducted to the Hall of Fame Saturday. Mike LaFleur, by the way, making his NFL head coaching debut, and Carson Beck making his NFL debut, at least in the preseason. Of course, he's a third-round pick out of Miami this past draft. And how about that hook up with Jalen Brooks on 3rd and 7 from his own 7. Gain of 35. Fitzgerald was digging it. Later in the same drive, Beck to Brooks again, first down again. Now they're inside the 10. Beck, Corey Kiner makes the catch just short of the goal line, but Beck led a 96-yard touchdown drive. He was 6 of 6 to 5 different receivers for 71 yards. It was 7-0. Kenny Pickett leading the charge for the Panthers here in the second quarter. 2nd and 10. Finds A.J. Dillon. That takes it inside the 5. And then 2nd and goal, Dillon just barrels his way into the end zone. Pickett 8 for 11, 62 yards. The game is tied at 7. Next Cardinals drive, Beck still out there. He's looking downfield. Brooks hauls it in before getting absolutely rocked by Lathan Ransom. Wow. Gain of 49. Brooks 3 catches, 99 yards, and he was fine. Later in that same drive, 3rd and 4, Beck. How about that throw? To Simi Fehoko. I mean, that is precision. Perfect product placement. Beck, 15 of 19, 188, and 1 touchdown. And the Panthers, though, get the win, 33-30. Well, now that football is officially back, we bring back in our good friend Damien Woody here to SportsCenter. And look, Woody, expectations might be low in Arizona considering everything that happened in the offseason. But what benefit would the Cardinals have starting Carson Beck at some point this season?
Well, listen, we all know that the Arizona Cardinals are in one of the toughest divisions in football in the NFC West, where you got the Super Bowl champion, the Seattle Seahawks, the 49ers, and the Rams. And so it's going to be tough sledding. And when you're in a division like that, at some point your quarterback is, your guy you drafted in the 3rd round is going to need to be evaluated because we all know everyone looks towards the draft. So I thought Carson Beck really acquitted himself very well tonight. I mean, you saw them put him in a lot of tough situations. Obviously, the backed up situation where he was on his own 3 and he marched 97 yards for the touchdown. A lot of great throws, a lot of touch throws. And so for his first start, I thought he acquitted himself very well.
Yeah, he had so much experience there in college with both the University of Georgia and Miami. He was playing in big games. So clearly the stage was not too big for him. Very impressive performance. Let's talk about another team that's been struggling to find a starting quarterback for decades now. That, of course, is the Cleveland Browns. And they go into this season seemingly trying to choose between Deshaun Watson, who clearly has issues, who hadn't played in quite some time, and then Shedeur Sanders, who's young and hasn't lived up to what he wants him to be as a starting quarterback. How do you see this competition playing out at this point?
Well, I think coming into it, you would have thought that, okay, Shedeur Sanders is probably the guy that you're leaning towards, considering the fact that the Cleveland Browns have paid Deshaun Watson all this money, and then there's never been any return on investment, and you want to see what the young quarterback is like. But clearly in this situation, the Cleveland Browns are open to Deshaun Watson potentially winning his starting job, and I think this is one of those positions that's one of the more intriguing quarterback competitions that we have in the National Football League right now.
Yeah, you look at Deshaun Watson, he just hasn't played a lot of football as of late for various reasons, so you wonder if he's that good, he should be able to take out a guy just in his 2nd season. All right, we talked about a little bit earlier in our show, Woody, about the summer of getting paid, especially for these star running backs in the NFL with these extensions. Jahmyr Gibbs, the latest, now the highest paid running back in the league. What do you attribute to teams putting more money and more value back into the running back position?
Yeah, I think there's a renaissance as far as the running backs and the running game as a whole. I think over the past couple years, you started running the football. But when I look at these running backs, especially these guys that have gotten paid over the past couple days, these aren't just running backs, they're offensive weapons, because these are guys that are on the field for all 3 downs. And they're adept at both running the football, but you can use them in the passing game as well. And so all these top guys, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, so on and so forth. Those guys are what we call offensive weapons that really affect the game.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like the evolution of the position. They're not just waiting back 5 yards off the line of scrimmage to rush up the middle. They have to do all the things in the modern football world, and those guys are definitely doing it. Damien Woody, we're just getting started, bro. We got a long way to go to get to the Super Bowl in L.A., man. It's going to be a fun ride, my man.
That's right, absolutely.
NFL, where this week continues to be running backs getting paid week. You can add Jahmyr Gibbs' name to that list. The Lions making their premier running back the highest paid in history at the position, thanks to a 3-year extension that will pay him $51.5 million guaranteed. That's $500,000 more than what Bijan Robinson just got from the Falcons a couple days ago. But wait, there's more. Jonathan Taylor also cashing in this week after he agreed to a 2-year extension with the Colts that will pay him $39 million guaranteed. Since entering the NFL in 2020, Taylor owns the second most rushing yards and total touchdowns scored behind only Derrick Henry. So again, running backs getting their money this week. This is just the past few days. Look at all those dudes cashing in. You heard Bijan Robinson talk about it yesterday. He hopes that the running back position can get back to what it was back in the day, being important, and the guys getting the money because of it. All right, so let's show you that's the fastest speed for any ball carrier on a touchdown in 2025. The Lions would win that game. Here in Week 10 against the Commanders, dude, he's not just fast, he's just all around good. Look at 3 defenders around him. They got hands on him, but dude would not go down. Ends up taking it to the end zone. The Lions would win that game. And then Week 5 against the Bengals, passing game worked too. Catches the screen, bowls over the defender. Again, he can do all the things. The Lions won that game.
Down Detroit Lions. Ford Field, stand up. Jahmyr Gibbs to the house. That man can fly. He can fly.
Oh, my goodness.
Lions won that one overtime. Again, Gibbs can do all the things. That's why he got paid. Well, with each passing day, the hope of Aaron Donald coming out of retirement and rejoining the Rams gets greater and greater for LA fans and Donald's potential future teammates. The 8-time first-team All-Pro and 3-time Defensive Player of the Year hasn't played in a game since the Rams lost to the Lions in the 2023 wildcard round. More now from Lindsey Theory.
Rams coach Sean McVay announced Thursday that it's a wrap of training camp at LMU. So the team will now pack its bags and head back to their team facility in Woodland Hills, where Aaron Donald watch will continue. Donald worked out for the team earlier this week, utilizing their gear, equipment, and running through a standard set of individual drills. Sean McVay tells me he was not in attendance, but says the workout went great and things are still trending in the right direction. But McVay says that Donald is also still very much working through his process to determine whether or not he wants to or can return. McVay emphasizing that on his end, there's nothing more that he needs to see from Donald. He owes nobody anything, and that he still trusts that Donald can play at the highest level. As for any benchmark that Donald may be wanting to hit to determine whether he can return, McVay says he wants to play the way he's accustomed to,